Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Wholepreneur Summit, where we've brought experts from all over the world to support your mind, body, spirit, and business. In today's workshop, we're going to learn how to harness the power of creativity for our everyday lives, including today. It's not just for artists or for people that have some sort of preset talent. It's a powerful tool to de-stress, increase problem solving, and even have better relationships. So grab a pen and paper. And for those of you that have registered, you have a link to a worksheet in your email. So whatever you have, let's get ready to welcome the founder of Creative Express Studio and poetess, Lihi Ben Heim. Welcome, Lihi.
Hi, thank you for having me, Tanya.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here. Where are you joining us from today?
I am joining you from the Netherlands.
Amazing. I love it. Good weather over there?
Amazingly so, yeah.
Aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky we're all inside now? Well, I am so excited to have you here today to give everyone a quick way to tap into the benefits of creativity. And I know your whole concept is focused around the idea that creativity is not about talent, and it can be a wonderfully quick and painless path towards better health, relationships, and self-care, right?
Right.
I love
exactly.
it. So, yes. So I am going to let you just take it away and start to guide us on this journey today.
Good. So today I'm going to show you this quick way to de-stress based on the concepts you just talked about. And what I really want to show you and also tell you why you should embrace some concepts is how you are actually allowed to use creativity to de-stress, even if you don't feel you have talent or skill. Yes. And I'm going to start by telling you a story about a woman who found a workaround not having talent or skill. So what my big point for today for you is to forget about talent and just
good done.
Creativity.
Forget it.
Just use creativity. And why should you even do that? Because it is actually scientifically proved that creativity can increase your happiness and health. And I think that especially these days when we're all stuck at home more than we would like to be, maybe with family, it's so useful to have as many possibilities as possible to de-stress with.
Yes, because wine is only going to take us so far, right?
That's true. Yeah, and I'm gonna today specifically talk about a 2-minute practice because it's sometimes hard to get away from the whole family these days at home. Yes. And more than ever. But actually, it's true for routine as well. We don't have time. Mm-hmm. And 2 minutes practice are great. But I find that to actually use creativity, even just use it to de-stress, we have to let go of many misconceptions we have about creativity.
Yes.
And creative people. And I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to start with telling you a story about a woman named Chris O'Dill. I'll tell you who she is in a minute, but just quickly her story. She felt the need. She felt suddenly one day, she felt this inner need for structure and meaning, but she didn't have any skill or talent. She wanted to paint, but she didn't know how. So what she did was she found this paint by the numbers kit. Do you know it?
Oh yeah, paint by number.
Different areas on the page with numbers, and to each there is a color assigned, and you just color in, and you end up with this amazing picture. So the thing is, she was a little awkward about it because she was sitting around her apartment and her partner was there and he was kind of, fondly mocking, like making fun of her, how she set up all her canvases and all her paints. And she felt, on the one hand, awkward and silly doing this childlike thing. On the other hand, she felt that it was answering a deep need she had for structure and meaning, and that's why she did it. And what she did was to find a workaround not being talented or skilled.
Right.
Now, it can be the same feeling when you're trying to learn a new skill, which is of course also an option. But the important thing to take from this story is that she did it. She went through this awkwardness and silliness. And it's so important to remember to just let go, drop this whole notion of talent, and realize that if you go through this awkwardness and silliness, actually talented is awaiting you at the other side.
I love that.
But you know, I was there. I went through this process, and you come out of the other side feeling better and more skilled.
Right. And I think it's a common, it's not just common. I think it's the first misconception or anything about creativity is that, well, I'm not creative. I haven't done, arts and crafts since I was in school, or I don't know how to do it. And then there's this weird judgmental voice. I'm not sure where it's coming from, where, something like the paint by number, it's like, well, that's cheating. That's not doing it. But you are very much painting. You are absolutely, there's paint involved. There's a brush involved. And you don't, and the paint by number keeps you from the talent myth, right? That somehow I need to know how to do it. And now you're getting the results of the exercise, right? Like, I think it happens in actual exercise. Like, I don't have to be a trainer to do the workout. If I watch a workout and I copy them, I can still get the results. It doesn't mean I have to be like some expert trainer to get the results of working out. So why not get the results of creativity with a workaround? I love it.
I like that comparison. Yeah, because we get to move through the motions. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Move through the motions or notions? Motions?
Yeah, motions. Yeah, go through the motions. Absolutely.
Doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting a brush on the canvas. It feels good. It gives you something. To her, it gave structure and meaning. Maybe to another person, it will give something else. By the way, this woman, Chris O'Dell, she wrote a book about her life. She was in the music business in the 70s, and she used to hang out with Bob Dylan and the Beatles and all. And,
oh my gosh.
She just wrote a book about her life, and I read it.
I love it. Paint by number. She's amazing. Okay.
Definitely. So it's good to remember that creativity is silly and awkward. We have this notion that something creative, we see the final product and we think it's perfect, it's beautiful, and we forget that this process of being creative is often silly and awkward. It doesn't always flow beautifully.
Right. It's messy. I mean, in all respects, it's messy, right? I remember hearing somebody explain how they can see a musician and go, oh, wow, that's beautiful. I would love to learn to play guitar, or piano. And then they get started and your fingers are hurting and it sounds awful. And a lot of people give up, right? And the reason is because they want the end result, not the work that comes with it. That we see this beautiful end product and not the sore fingers or, the awful notes that came out before you got there. And that's what takes, but if you love that journey, that can be enough sometimes, just to go through the journey and go, I have this outlet.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions to let go of when we try to approach creativity, and talent is only one of them, but I think it's one of the biggest.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that it has been scientifically proven that creativity is good for our health. It can help us reduce stress and feel healthier and happier in even 2 minutes. It's such a small touch of it can make a difference to how we feel. And it's important.
Absolutely. There's so much behind the idea of creativity that it's a necessity. It's something that we naturally go towards. And I think we think creativity, again, we put it in the context of finished, beautiful paintings or writing and books. But the actuality of it is creativity is in every part of our lives. It's in our problem solving. It's in our cooking. It's in, our clothing and how we decided to get dressed that day, or makeup or anything. It is everywhere. And I think we learn to let go of this idea that it's this finished product as opposed to a working mechanism in our everyday lives. Hopefully, guys watching now, you can start to understand that, like, it's not about, like Lihi's saying, it's not about talent. This is not about some, idea you have of like, well, I'm not naturally inclined. We all have this. We are actually very much naturally inclined towards creativity. Maybe you're not inclined towards being a painter, but you can learn. But it's in creativity itself, we absolutely all have, and use it more than we realize probably.
And Tanya, I have a quote here from the American Journal of Psychology that after, by the way, it's a long article about a lot of research that has been done about talent. And the bottom line was that everyone is creative, but not everyone is a genius. And I think that's so important to take with you.
Yes.
When you're trying to create something, just give it a go. You're not Mozart, fine. You'll never be Mozart. It doesn't matter. You're not Picasso. So what?
Right.
Today is for you.
Yes, that's true.
You just have to remember your purpose here is to use this to distress.
Yes. And I love that you changed it into genius, because geniuses are the people who don't have to try, I guess, right? They do have this special innate thing, but that's such a small percentage. So it doesn't mean you can't do what Picasso does. You just maybe it's not your knee-jerk reaction. You have to work to get there a little more than maybe he did,
Yeah, you're right. And remember the imperfection. It's a part of the process, but more than that, if the creation process was perfect, or if everything worked out to begin with, it wouldn't have been interesting. It would have been boring.
Right.
I've seen this video of a ballet dancer. I liked it a lot. She said that she wants to bring ballet to people from a different perspective, where they can let go of this concept that ballet dancers are these little tiny perfect dolls. Because she said, no, I'm not perfect. I am super duper professional, but I still make mistakes. And if I wouldn't be making mistakes, I would stop doing this because it would start being boring.
Right.
And
I love that.
Looks perfect to the outside observer somehow, but it's not.
Yeah, it's in the challenge. It's in overcoming the challenge that keeps it fun and interesting.
Yeah. And remember you have two ways. You can go through the awkwardness of learning a new skill, or you can even let that go and just find workarounds. There are a bunch. And today I want to actually walk you through one.
Yes.
And I want us to do it together.
Okay. Okay, we're going to get creative, guys. So if you have your worksheets or you have your papers, it's time. There's no more excuses. You can't be like, oh, well, that sounds great, Lihi. It's a good concept. I'll go do it. Nope, we're doing it now. Doing it now.
Right. So let's do it together.
Okay. I love it.
So I have a PDF, right? Did you mention it, Tanya?
Yes, there's a PDF that's been in your email, guys. If you're registered for the event, that's in your email, and it'll be in your reminder for today, and also in the replay. You'll have that. Right.
You can download and do it later again. And you can also follow me and find more of those.
Yes.
So I'll just talk through a few important points. We are going to do a writing exercise.
I can already see people getting like, writing. It's okay.
And I'll give you some pointers to actually let go of the way we are normally writing.
Right.
So we can let go of some basic concepts to help you let go of the way we normally think about writing and creating.
Good. I have a very not happy association with writing, so this will be great for me.
So look, first of all, what you're gonna have on your paper is an image and 3 words. I'm just looking at it here.
Okay, yeah, and we'll have that up on the screen here.
Right. You can see it on the screen, and I have it on the paper with me. And this image and 3 words are not related to each other. What's going to happen as we go through this exercise is that your mind will create connections between them.
Mm.
It will happen by itself if you will just allow it. So all you need is 2 minutes, a paper and a pen, any kind, and you need to remember some good points. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yes, some good points. We're ready for our tips. What's our tips?
You are allowed to do some weird stuff. Okay, you are allowed for it to not have any sense. It doesn't have to make any sense what you're writing.
Perfect.
It can be totally just weird, completely weird. Don't worry about grammar, about meaning. Just put some words on the paper.
There's nowhere to win, right? There's no winning, getting a A plus.
No A plus. You're not being rated.
Perfect.
Next thing is you are allowed to include or ignore any elements of this picture that I call a quick creative, right? There are 3 words in a picture. You're allowed to include all the words, ignore some of them, write about the picture or ignore the picture. Whatever works. Just give it a go and see what happens.
Perfect.
And what else do I want you to remember? You are allowed to write badly.
Perfect. This is exactly the right exercise for me.
And once you've finished, you are allowed to love what you wrote or hate what you wrote. You also can pick freely between sharing it or keeping it private.
Okay. Awesome.
Right? Now, one last thing, I borrowed it from my yoga teacher. I love it when the yoga teacher tells me to leave my stress on the yoga mat. Do you know that? How they say
yes,
that?
yes.
I love it, and that's what I do when I write. I welcome you to do the same.
All right.
If you are recently, if there's something that you're holding on to, some stress or pain, leave it, let it go, let it flow to the paper.
I love it.
And leave it there and try. I hope this is not too abstract, but try to give those feelings form with these 3 words and picture.
Okay.
Not too forcefully, just take those pieces of advice with you and then also forget them. Just
perfect.
Do whatever comes.
Whatever happens. So recapping this, guys, there's no right or wrong. We're not being graded. Write silly, write weird. Go with the words, don't go with the words, connect with the picture, don't connect with the picture. The point is to let that be a starting point to write anything, and just anything, like free flow or story, whatever comes, poem, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Even if we just write, I don't know what to write, and here's the 3 words, we can just write that. Okay. The fact is that we're doing it, right? This is like the paint by number. It's a fact is that we're doing it. I love it. Okay. So will you read through those words real quick, just that we're seeing on the screen here?
So the words are undeniable, become, and secretive.
Okay.
Okay. In the picture, we see a woman sitting on a mountain, looking out into the view. I thought this is something we can all enjoy, right? Maybe we're missing it a bit.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So we have undeniable, become, and searching. That was it?
No, undeniable, become, and secretive.
Oh, secretive, right? Secretive. Sorry. Okay, right here on the screen. I just have to pay attention to the screen. And the woman on the mountain, guys. Okay, so we'll go ahead and should we just start a 2-minute timer now?
Exactly. If you great. If not, put on a 2-minute timer. Don't feel that you have to do. You are also, by the way, allowed to write less than 2 minutes, obviously, but you don't need more.
I'm gonna set a real timer here, guys. Give me just a second, so we have a way to do something. So, all right, we're getting set. We're gonna do this with you guys. Have your pen, paper. You got your image up here on the screen, and we're gonna start now.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, 20 seconds left, guys. Okay, our 2 minutes is up. How did everyone do? Did we get creative? I'm extremely surprised. I have no idea where this came from, but that's awesome. So,
by the way,
are we, huh?
That happens, by the way.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. And I also felt something that I'll take this quick opportunity to talk about. Is that okay?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so I felt, I remembered something important here, that I felt that my second paragraph was much nicer than my first one. And that happens because, like in physical exercise, also in creating, writing or painting, there is a warm-up stage. I think that during my first paragraph, I was actually warming up, and then my second one kind of suddenly it's much better. That happens a lot.
Right, right. Yeah, because it's like you don't know where you're going, or at least for me, I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. And it was hard. There was a few times I was like, I don't know if that's the right, like the grammar thing. You want to kind of fix the grammar, and I was like, and then you think of the timer, so you're like, I just got to keep going. So, which is kind of nice, because I think if I didn't have the timer, I'd be overthinking it. I'd be going, what is it? That's awesome. So guys, if you feel like sharing, you don't have to, but if you do, like, throw something in the comments. Lihi, do you want to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So it goes like this: undeniable words. Tell them what became of the secret. Just by being secretive, I saw the distance now more than ever before. Undeniable. Become your own secret and deny all the rest. Don't let the view stop. Sorry, it's my own handwriting. I can't read it.
Right.
Don't let the view stop flowing into you.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, my own handwriting. Like, I'll show you guys. Like, it's really my little messy thing I have here. So I'll share mine. So I have the wind was undeniably cold at this height. It flowed through her hair and seemed to whisper an almost secretive message of joy and relief. It was time to become the mountain, to be the range, and to be nature itself. That's what I came with.
I love it.
I have no idea. I was like, it's so poetic feeling, and I had no idea.
Poetic. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm curious to see what other people came up with.
Yeah, guys, I would love for you guys, if you feel like it, again, only feel like it, but totally surprising. Like, you don't know what's in there until you give yourself a moment, really. And I mean, I'm the first one to say, like, I don't like writing. I feel, at least maybe that's the story I've told myself, right? Yeah. That's the story I've told myself because of school, because of growing up. I loved art class, so creativity was fine. Drawing, creativity in my head was drawing, painting, things like that, crafting. But writing, anytime it was creative writing, oh Lord, that was the stress. And I am that type A personality who's like, well, I'm going to get the A+, I got to do the right thing. And that made writing writing very uncomfortable and not something I look forward to. So this was actually in 2 minutes, guys. I don't know. I've just had my whole feeling about writing changed. So yeah, we'll definitely have to check out some of the comments here. I love that though. So tell us more. So this is something we can do often. I don't know if we have any more points to kind of pull out from something like this, or what do we do? Where do we go from here?
Well, I know that it's obviously it's nice to do it every day, but let's be realistic. It's not necessarily happening, right? So I feel that as often as you can, grab those 2 minutes, and let's not get too graphic, but even if you have to hide in the toilet for those 2 minutes, it's fine. That's another concept to let go of. It's nothing romantic. You don't have to be sitting in a field with red flowers around you to do this. Okay, you can hide out wherever you have, whenever
or
you
some
have
dimly lit room drinking absinthe, right? Like you don't need that. No Hemingway style, I guess. So we're okay.
Yes. You can obviously even sometimes do it when your kids are in the room, even if they happen to be busy with some screen time, which I know my kid is busy with. Then, you can grab those 2 minutes. And
it was literally 2 minutes. Like you guys, that wasn't figuratively. That was literally 2 minutes.
And if you want more of this specific kind of exercise, you can follow me. If you download that PDF, you have a link to, you can find links on the bottom of it, and you can find me there on Facebook, or you can find me via email and get some. I even have a link there to a 5 days of quick creatives that can guide you through it. They include also some mini lessons like we did today. Today we talked about talent, but there's actually a lot more to learn about. To learn more like, it's not so much to learn about, it's more like letting go of.
Right. It's like deprogramming.
It's like editing out.
It's not new stuff. It's like taking all the old stuff out. So yeah.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's really a lot of what you have available. I know is the besides your actual products, a lot of, if you just show up where Lihi is, she's always offering and putting out these kind of like inspiration, I don't know if inspiration, but like these musings to get you started, to just help you break down these barriers and help you get started to just bring this creativity into your life. And I love that on her tagline, it's quick and painless. That's really the whole thing, is that there's a lot of creative outlets out there, which is beautiful. But they can feel overwhelming. I think they can feel like a big commitment. Heck, even a, 500-piece puzzle can feel a little overwhelming, and you can easily put that off. So something like this allows you to really quickly bring something into your life. And there's lots of different areas. So there's, writing, there's drawing, there's painting, there's different things that you can bring in, and things that, I think as you follow Lihi, you'll see on that kind of path of where you can touch into this. But that's really the whole point, is that it's not about becoming an artist. It's not about choosing a career and going, well, why would I start painting? I'm not going to start selling paintings. The business minded, some of us here are like always trying to monetize, like, well, I got to justify. I have to justify this. And I think that's a huge thing that I hear in a lot of the things that you share, Lihi, which is another reason why it was so important for you to come and do this today, is that, as we're finding ourselves at home, I think there's a lot of us that, we're hearing the stories of, okay, well, I can finally clean out my garage, and all those things are great, wonderful things to do, spring cleaning. But if you need to justify creativity, I think what we learned in the beginning is that there's scientific evidence to show that this benefits our lives. It benefits our relationships because it gives us an outlet, right? Like that's where it brings us, that there's a lot of us aren't using this, and we don't realize detriment that it's bringing. We don't realize the buildup, the fact that we're actually not giving ourselves this outlet, that really this is a place of self-care. This is, and it's easier than a bath.
And this is science.
Yes.
It's really, there's been a lot of research about this.
Right. Yeah. You guys can like Google anything. You can see a lot of the stuff that Lihi brings. She has all the articles to back up what's there. Like, this is not just kind of some woo woo fun thing. This is real, like, science going, look, guys, this is a real thing. And we're not bringing this into our lives. We're not actively pursuing this because of these misconceptions, right? Because we think that it has to be a career or a big thing or a big to do.
Yeah.
We just experienced 2 minutes right now that can be an outlet for us. That can be a space that's just enough. Now, of course, you can do more. You can do more, but there's something there that we can bring this into our lives that brings a lot of benefit and a sense of release. And like I was saying, it's it's faster than a bath. I'm not against baths. I love baths. But it's faster than a bath, and there's no hangover with the wine. So it's a different level of I think what we've been joking about. The quarantine, it's, I think I saw somebody that said the rules of quarantine are the same rules of the airport. You can drink at 9 a.m. And so that's all fun and it's fun to joke about. But in reality, what are we really giving ourselves for that true self-care? And this one is, definitely hangover free and a lot easier to, it's more accessible to us, especially with those of us with kids at home. I mean, trying to get a nice 10, 20 minute bath with the kids at home. I mean, it's going to be a lot of interruptions. So I love this. Are there any other points or things that you'd love to bring us up with creativity as we have a little bit of time left?
There are so many. That's it for today.
I don't want to overwhelm everyone.
Points, yes. Half-baked and
but it's really about letting go. The first step today, I think what we're solidifying is letting go of this talent myth that there's something that we're supposed to already possess that allows us to go forward. Actually, and I'll share this story. I'm currently reading a book for a guest that we're going to have next month. He's a very well-known writer, Benjamin Hardy, and he has a book that's going to be coming out soon called Personality Isn't Permanent. And I was just reading this story that, it's really, really quite a fantastic book. But he was talking about a lady, I don't know the relation to her, but it was at a family reunion and she was 81 years old. And he hadn't really talked to her that much, but in conversation, he found out that she had always wanted to write children's books and illustrate children's books. And he was, he's a psychologist. So he's chatting with her and like, well, why, like, what happened? Why didn't you do it? And she said that she took a course once, a drawing course, I mean, she's 81. So I don't know how many years ago this is. And in her drawing course, the instructor came and kind of went over what she did and fixed it. Right. And from that moment on, she never drew again.
I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah. She was felt that
happened to me.
Really?
Personally.
Yeah.
And
it can be rough, right?
Drawing for years and then I found my way back to it, but it's rough. This kind of experience that you're describing, it's rough.
And she never got back to it. So the discussion was, he asked her why, and she said, well, obviously I didn't have the innate talent. Everyone else was talented. No one else got their picture fixed. I wasn't talented. That single experience kept this woman from ever pursuing the thing that she wanted to do. She took it as a fact. And the truth is, he goes into the psychology of it that, perhaps even her perception of it, the teacher could have actually been meaning well. It could have been something she could have readdressed, looked at from a different, but she just never talked about it again. She took it as a fact that she got, for A, that she had to have talent, that some innate talent, B, that she didn't have it. So C, it wasn't worth pursuing. But the truth of it was that it was something that she wanted to pursue for her own joy and gratification. And so at 81 years old, he was going, how he kind of talks about how this creates our personalities and different things. But he was saying, 81, she still vividly remembers this moment as if it happened yesterday that changed potentially the trajectory of her life. And he said, even in that day, she did a little doodle of something for her his kids.
Yeah.
And he was like, clearly it's there at 81. So like, guys, I share that to say, you know, this idea that Lihi's sharing with you is so powerful on both sides of the spectrum. Like it can hold you back from so much if you're really holding on to this idea that there's something you're supposed to have beforehand, that there's a right way. You know, one of the things when I used to help homeschool my goddaughter, and we said, what's the first rule of art? And it was, you know, she was 8. We're like, there are no rules, you know? So there are no rules. Yes, there's rules to perspective painting, oil, you know, landscape. When you start to get into something specific, of course, there's things that you can grow and learn to do. But that's where you learn. But if you just want to get it out and express, I mean, my messy, weird crossed out page of 2 minutes here, you know, proves that like, it doesn't have to have any rules. So yeah, again, I say that to like, it can hold you back from so much, but if we also grasp onto it, it can open up a whole other world for us. And so please take heed to what Lihi's sharing about this talent myth nonsense, because it really is nonsense. And it's creativity is for all of us.
You know, the talent is something. I mean, sure, some people are more talented than others, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter to us. If we want to use creativity to de-stress with, we are allowed. Yes. We don't have to have talent or even skill for that.
Right. It's accessible to everyone. I love it. Yeah. Well, before we go, can you please tell everybody where they can find you and what you have going on? I know you told a little bit, but just where they can find you, like your handles on Facebook. And I know you're starting Instagram. I'm not sure if it's ready yet, but I know it's also happening.
So on Facebook, we have the page of Creative Express Studio. We also have a group where you can get some of those quick creatives, like the one we did today for writing and drawing. We have a whole support system going on there. Or also, you need encouragement to do this. It's hard to be alone with it. So what I want to give people is encouragement and a safe place, let's say, to share where they can be with people who are actually doing a similar thing, so they can get where you're coming from, right?
Yes.
Then you can share the experience and get encouragement.
So we're saying that the Facebook page is a really special place of safety and creativity for people to be supported, that you can show up. There's no, again, this, you know, it's not about critiquing or feedback. It's just about encouragement, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll find you on the Creative Express Studio page, find you in the Creative Express Studio group if you want to dive deeper into that. And I know eventually she's going to be having some awesome things on Instagram where you can get these quick creatives as well. So you guys, again, Lihi, thank you so much. This was awesome. Yes.
Thanks everyone for...
Absolutely. I think we might be losing your audio here, but you guys make sure to connect with Lihi. She is always giving tips, practices, and lessons to teach you how to use and harness creativity and debunk those myths that keep you from using it. So like I said, Lihi, thank you again for being here, even if we can't hear you. The world needs everyone to embrace their creative life. So thank you all for showing up to create your best life. As you know, this summit is free, so if you enjoyed what you learned here today, we would love your appreciation in the form of shares, likes, comments, and follows. And if you haven't already, please check out our weekly show, My Design Life, where we test methods and habits to create a life you love. You can connect with me, Tanya MFK, at Tanya MFK and at My Design Life on Facebook and Instagram, and learn more about our workshops, courses, and coaching at TanyaMFK.com. So remember, your someday starts today. Make it the best. I'm Tanya MFK, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome to My Designed Life.